Lalu Prasad's party and the Congress party, Nitish Kumar has expressed regret for breaking his alliance with the Mahagathbandhan in 2017. Nitish Kumar has just told Tejasvi Yadav, Lalu's son, forget what happened. Let's move forward. Chacha, Bhatija, Saath, Saath. Nitish tells Tejasvi, we have to work together for Bihar. The big Bihar breakup and blockbuster live on India Today's screens 24 hours after India Today's political team had told you that this breakup was going to happen in the next 24 hours. Bang on schedule, Nitish Kumar has ditched the BJP and jumped into another Mahagathbandhan bandwagon. This is a man who now has national ambitions. He is about to take oath for the record 8th time as Chief Minister of Bihar. A political survivor and wizard par excellence has managed to put the BJP on the back foot, a place that the BJP is not often seen in. And just weeks after the Shinde showdown in Maharashtra, on the other corner of the country in Bihar, Nitish Kumar leads a mega divorce from the NDA into the arms of Lalu and the Gandhis. What does this mean for Bihar? What does it mean for 2024? 360-degree view here on India Today with live ground reportage from Patna, Bihar. I'm Shiv Aroor. These are the headlines. India Today's newsbreak confirmed Nitish Kumar resigns as Bihar Chief Minister. Now Nitish and Tejasvi to stake claim to form the next government in Bihar.
तो जैसे ही एनडीए छोड़ने का निर्णय सब लोगों की था थी तो हमने उसी को स्वीकार कर लिया और आकर के यहाँ जो एनडीए की सरकार में हम मुख्यमंत्री थे, हमने मुख्यमंत्री पद से इस्तीफा सौंप दिया.
After Nitish dumps the NDA alliance, BJP cries betrayal, says JDU did dhoka with the people of Bihar and is a complete betrayal of the people's mandate.
आज जो कुछ भी हुआ है वह बिहार की जनता के साथ और भाजपा के साथ धोखा है. यह पूरे उस मैंडेट का उल्लंघन है जो मैंडेट बिहार की जनता ने दिया था.
Months after the oath, Shinde cabinet takes shape. 9 ministers from BJP and 9 from Shinde camp sworn in. India Today, only channel to get the cabinet absolutely right. Portfolio distribution hasn't happened yet. Criminal goon neta Shrikant Tyagi arrested finally from Meerut after 4-day manhunt. VIP SUV with MLA sticker and BJP flag used to flee, seized by the UP cops. He's under arrest now. Big political fight over Lal Singh Chaddha. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin's son Udayanidhi under attack for promoting a Hindi film. BJP questions DMK's Hindi language hypocrisy. Furious, fast-paced political developments in Bihar. Nitish Kumar has mounted a Badlapur on the BJP and he has his eyes not just on Bihar but also on Bharat. These are the top 5 developments in this rapidly developing story. Let's take you through them. Amidst the political turmoil, Nitish Kumar has reached the Raj Bhavan, tendered his resignation as the Chief Minister of Bihar. Governor Fagu Chauhan for breaking his alliance with the BJP-led NDA alliance. Now, after breaking up with the alliance, the swearing-in ceremony of Nitish Kumar, his record 8th swearing-in as Chief Minister of Bihar, along with his new cabinet, will likely take place tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Big development number 3. Sources tell India Today that RJD's Tejasvi Yadav, that's Lalu's son, has demanded the Home Ministry portfolio in the new Bihar Sarkar. The RJD is also likely to get the Deputy Chief Ministerial berth. The Congress is likely to get the Speaker's post. Development number 4. After the swearing-in ceremony tomorrow, Nitish Kumar is most likely to visit Delhi to meet the top guns of the Congress party, President Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. And finally, development number 5, the Bharatiya Janata Party has blamed Nitish for a complete betrayal of the 2020 election mandate. The Saffron Party has said that the people of Bihar will teach Nitish Kumar a lesson very, very soon. It's the big quake that has become political story number 1 on today's agenda. Nitish Kumar has resigned as Chief Minister 24 hours after India Today told you that he will be doing so. We didn't suggest it might happen. We didn't say sources told us. We told you, the viewer, 24 hours a day that Nitish Kumar was going to quit on Tuesday, and that's precisely what has happened. Nitish Kumar met the governor at the Raj Bhavan over an hour ago. Tejasvi Yadav and Nitish Kumar walked together to the Raj Bhavan and will be staking claim to form the next government in the state of Bihar. After tendering his resignation, Nitish Kumar went to Tejasvi Yadav's house. These are pictures from the inside. Nitish Kumar is going to be sworn in as Bihar's Chief Minister for a record 8th time tomorrow. That's Wednesday. The JDU, that's Nitish Kumar's party, has claimed the BJP continued needling into its functioning and tried to surreptitiously destabilize the BJP-JDU government. The BJP has slammed Nitish Kumar, calling it a betrayal of their joint mandate. Sources are telling India Today, meanwhile, that Tejasvi Yadav, that's Lalu's son, has demanded the Home Ministry for himself. His brother Tej Pratap may also be inducted into this new government. The Congress, like we've been telling you, is likely to get the Speaker's post in this new assembly as part of this new arrangement. And I'll show you the assembly numbers to tell you what this looks like on the ground inside the Vidhan Sabha shortly. Nitish Kumar's grouses against the BJP have been piling up and amplifying since the 2019 general election, when his party, the JDU, was offered just 1 seat in the union cabinet. That was seen as an insult by Nitish Kumar to the JDU. He has bided his time, nursing his own local as well as national ambitions. And now that the time was right, he has taken his surgical strike to his own partner's back and divorced and dumped the BJP and will be sworn in again tomorrow.
दोनों लोकसभा राज्यसभा के सांसद और सारे विधायक और विधान पार्षद और पार्टी के नेता सब लोगों,
भाजपा से क्या दिक्कत हो गई?
सारी मीटिंग आज हुई और सब लोगों की इच्छा यही हुई है कि हम लोगों को एनडीए छोड़ देना चाहिए। तो जैसे ही एनडीए छोड़ने का निर्णय सब लोगों की थी ही, तो हमने उसी को स्वीकार कर लिया और आकर के यहाँ जो एनडीए की सरकार में हम मुख्यमंत्री थे, हमने मुख्यमंत्री पद से इस्तीफा सौंप दिया। बस यही।
क्या परेशानी थी?
आज जो कुछ भी हुआ है वह बिहार की जनता के साथ और भाजपा के साथ धोखा है। यह पूरे उस मैंडेट का उल्लंघन है जो मैंडेट बिहार की जनता ने दिया था, जिसके एक 2005 के पहले की जो सरकार थी उसके विरुद्ध का मैंडेट था कि यह प्रदेश शांति चाहता है, यह प्रदेश विकास चाहता है। और जो कुछ भी आज हुआ है वह न केवल भाजपा बल्कि बिहार की सारी जनता के साथ धोखा है और बिहार की जनता इसको कतई बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
फिर पलटी मारी। देखिए साहब, ये पहले थे आरजेडी के अंग थे, उसके बाद आरजेडी को छोड़ा, बीजेपी के साथ उन्होंने गठबंधन किया, बीजेपी के साथ सरकार चलाई, उसके बाद बीजेपी को छोड़ करके फिर आरजेडी के साथ सरकार बनाई। कहा करते थे कि आरजेडी एकदम बिल्कुल बिहार के सर्वनाश के लिए जिम्मेवार है। यही कहा करते थे कि आरजेडी में भ्रष्टाचारी लोग जमे हुए हैं, यही कहा करते थे वे लोग। अब फिर उसी के साथ जाकर के मिल गए।
Let's take you straight to Patna. India Today's Ashutosh Mishra is live with us from there. He's outside Rabri Devi's residence where Nitish Kumar has just met with the family. Lalu's family has embraced Nitish. You know, Ashu, they have abused each other in the past. There has been a lot of distrust in the past, but the BJP appears to have united these old allies. No matter what you say, Nitish Kumar is in the embrace now of the RJD and the Congress party, and he is going to be sworn in as Chief Minister for the 8th time. But what's happening inside Rabri Devi's residence right now? When are they going to be going to the governor's residence?
Shiv, let me tell you first where I'm standing moment. If I just walk 2 steps right behind me, that's Rabri Devi's residence. If I just take 2 steps here further, this side, that's the ex-Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's residence. So the distance between the ex-Chief Minister and the next Deputy Chief Minister is very less at the moment since they all have come really closer. When Nitish Kumar reached Rabri Devi's residence, where Tejasvi Yadav, along with the MLAs of RJD, along with the MLAs of Congress and the Communist Party, they all were there since 9:30. They were waiting for that because RJD called up a meeting. Later it turned out to be a meeting of Mahagathbandhan. This letter of the support from MLAs were received, the signatures were taken. When Nitish Kumar came, he addressed the crowd. Tejasvi Yadav welcomed him on the stage. If we can put out those images, Nitish Kumar addressed the MLAs of Mahagathbandhan and, expressed regret for ditching this alliance in 2017. This is just political deja vu, Shiv. What had happened in 2017, forming a government, leaving that. Even today, what we're hearing, this sequence of incidents and the words that is coming from all the side, this is just history repeating. Then it was Tejasvi Yadav saying, look how Nitish betrayed us. Today, BJP saying, look how Nitish betrayed us. Then Nitish Kumar cited the corruption charges and misgovernance from the RJD. And today, the JDU citing that how BJP was trying to break the party, to split the party. Everything remains the same. Only the faces, only the size change. Every word, each and every word remain the same. And
everyone has called at some point of time or the other. That's very funny, actually. And you pointed that out, Ashu. Is that every party has called Nitish a traitor or a betrayer at one point or the other, from the BJP to the Congress to the RJD of Lalu Yadav. The only person that has not called Nitish a betrayer, perhaps, is Nitish himself. But stay with me, Ashu. Let's show our viewers why Nitish's critics have been calling him Palti Master, because of the number of paltis he's taken over the last many years. In 1994, he rebelled against Lalu's control of the then Janata Dal, and that was divorce number 1. He allied with George Fernandes to form the Samata Party at that point of time, 1994. Cut forward to 2013, he ditched the NDA for the first time and ended a 17-year alliance with the BJP. That was in 2013. He was against Modi being appointed as the BJP's Lok Sabha campaign chief. That was his first big rebellion against the NDA. In 2015, he formed the Mahagathbandhan with the RJD and the Congress, very similar to what's happening today. He wanted to defeat the BJP in the assembly elections of that particular year. Then in 2017, he ditched Lalu and the Congress once again due to so-called differences within the RJD, and he came back, Palti Marke, he came back to the NDA in August 2017. Please keep track, many Paltis in this. 2022 finally is the latest Palti. JDU leaves the NDA, Nitish mounts his Nexit, forms government with the Mahagathbandhan once again. The same people who he indulged in a huge, very ugly war of words with in 2017, with each other calling traitor. Now it's Aag Gale Lag Ja time, and he's back with them. Break up over differences with the BJP, and also remember to pursue his national ambitions. This is the same politician who once said, this is the last election I'm fighting, but he has big dreams of reviving a larger national role for himself. Now, as Nitish Kumar submits his resignation to the governor, joins hands with parties who he has abused in an ugly manner before and who've abused him in an ugly manner before, it is being seen as a carefully planned one for the upcoming general elections. But among the many challengers to lead the opposition, how easy is it going to be for Nitish to really play himself and portray himself as a key challenger to the BJP and to Prime Minister Modi? Take a look. It's one of the biggest questions that nobody's asking. Boom, the big Bihar blockbuster. India Today's latest political news break unfolding before a riveted nation. Protagonist Nitish Kumar has mounted a monumental Nexit from the BJP-led NDA. The high-profile Palti is the latest tonic injected into a bickering, divided and floundering opposition. And after the bruising that the BJP Hatao parties received in the Maharashtra Shinde insurrection, Nitish's move is tantamount to Badlapur for a wounded opposition that's been looking to injure the BJP. But let's go below the layers of this new rampaging Rajniti. First off, Nitish may be in survival mode. But don't forget that this also allows Nitish to at least try to revive his long-nursed dream of rivaling Modi nationally. The high-profile dumping of the BJP dents Team Modi's hold over allies, especially just weeks after the Shinde showdown, and gives the opposition a rare moment to feel a little happy. But while the opposition may enjoy the rare fruits of the BJP on its back foot, Nexit won't be all hunky-dory for the opposition's battle road to 2024 and could in fact inject even more complications. Don't forget that Nitish, by dumping the BJP, joins a swelling list of the many challengers for opposition leadership along with Mamata, Arvind Kejriwal and don't forget the Gandhis. If you zoom in, it'll be all smiles and congratulations for Nitish over the next 48 hours. A signal moment where Sushasan Babu has scored one for the opposition team in delivering a strike on the BJP. But if you zoom out, you'll see that this could add to the muddle, the game of potential thrones with yet another big ambitious ego added to the already bubbling opposition soup. With less than 2 years to go for the next national election, the game has gotten even more interesting. Bureau Report, India Today. And I want to take you back to Patna because Ashu Utosh has a Congress leader there with him. In the desert of Congress's political miseries nationwide, here is finally some good news for the grand old party. What's the sentiment like on the ground for the Congress party, Ashu?
कि जब नीतीश कुमार आए आप सब वहां पर थे तो क्या कहा नीतीश कुमार जब आए थे तो उन्होंने आप सभी विधायकों के साथ क्या कहा क्या संबोधित किया
विधायकों को कहा कि मैं 2 दल का गठबंधन का नेता था आज आप लोगों ने 6 दल का नेता हमको चुना और जो पुराने साथी थे समाजवादी लोग हैं ये सारे लोग और सीपीआई सीपीएम माले ये सारे दल मिल करके समर्थन दे करके आज 6 दल के लोग पहले से ज्यादा बहुमत से नीतीश कुमार को मुख्यमंत्री चुन लिया।
लेकिन विजय शंकर दुबे जी क्या उन्होंने 2017 में जो दामन छोड़ा था गठबंधन का उसको लेकर भी कुछ कहा?
ये देखिए भारतीय राजनीति में कब किसका दामन कौन छोड़ेगा अब ये राजनीति में कोई नई बात नहीं है।
लेकिन नीतीश कुमार ने कुछ कहा
बात कौन कहाँ छोड़ रहा है कैसे छोड़ा जा रहा है छुड़वाया जा रहा है
बीजेपी ने कहा देखिए नीतीश
And the late Ramvilas Paswan's brother Pashupati Paras is speaking to India Today's Mosmi Singh on this big Bihar quake. Let's listen in.
बिहार के सियासी उठापटक पर चर्चा करने के लिए हमारे साथ पशुपति पारस हैं। आइए बात करते हैं, केंद्रीय मंत्री हैं और जिस तरह से नीतीश कुमार ने पाला बदला है उनका क्या कहना है, ये उनकी प्रतिक्रिया ले लेते हैं। आप किस तरफ हैं? आप एनडीए के ही साथ रहेंगे?
मैं तो एनडीए के साथ था और आज भी मैं हूँ और मैं भविष्य में भी रहूँगा। 2014 में हमारी पार्टी का गठबंधन हुआ था एनडीए के साथ और परम आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में।
Okay, we'll take you to that conversation in a moment. Live images coming in of Nitish Kumar coming out from the Tejasvi residence, Lalu and Rabri Devi's residence in Patna, driving towards the governor's house. We take it. Live images from Bihar. The story is unfolding. It's moving very rapidly. Just an hour after the resignation, you now have the power cavalcade in Patna. Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav. We can't see who's inside the car, but Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav, we are told. And now the big rumble towards the Raj Bhavan, where the two leaders, the new Chief Minister and the new Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar will be staking claim. They'll be staking claim to join, to start the next government. Listen in.
कुमार को विधायक दल का नेता चुना गया और अब वो दावा पेश करने गए हैं राज्यपाल के पास। अब पता चलेगा कि शपथ ग्रहण का समारोह कब होगा इस नई सरकार का, और जो हम कह सकते हैं कि औपचारिकताएं हैं वो पूरी की जाएगी। कैमरामैन दीपक कुमार के साथ सुजीत कुमार झा, पटना, आज तक।
Live with us in just a moment. Live pictures of that convoy, the VIP convoy of Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav departing from Lalu's residence and heading towards the Patna Raj Bhavan, where Nitish and Tejasvi, Chacha Bhatija, Saath, will be staking claim to form the next government and clearing the decks for Nitish's record 8th time as the Bihar Chief Minister. It will be his 8th swearing in. We're going to show you pictures of all his swearing ins since the 90s. It's an amazing collage of images that will be on your screens in a short moment. But these live images coming in from Patna now of Nitish in his convoy heading towards the Raj Bhavan. India Today's Ashu will be live with me in just a moment. He's right there getting us these live pictures from his cameras. It's only minutes before the big power claim takes place at the Raj Bhavan. Phagu Chauhan is the governor. He will be receiving both Nitish as well as Tejasvi in just minutes from now. The Raj Bhavan is not far from this particular location. This political bombshell is moving very, very rapidly, ladies and gentlemen. It's been barely a couple of hours since Nitish Kumar dropped the bombshell confirming India Today's news break from yesterday and dumped the NDA. And now they are going to be at the Raj Bhavan. Okay, they're already at the Raj Bhavan. That's how close it is. Amazing. Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav are at the Bihar Raj Bhavan. And as we speak, both of them are staking claim. They've got the numbers now. The BJP is on a sticky wicket. It has been ejected from the Bihar Sarkar. Nitish Kumar gets to keep the mantle as we speak. And those images from inside the Raj Bhavan will be on your screen in just a couple of minutes from now. But Nitish and Tejasvi, Chacha Bhatija, two leaders who in 2017 had abused each other, called each other traitors, are now holding hands and getting set to form the next government in Bihar. Both are inside the Raj Bhavan with Governor Phagu Chauhan. They will be, as we speak, staking claim to form the next government. Nitish will continue to be the Chief Minister. Tejasvi Yadav is set to be the Deputy Chief Minister. Our National Affairs Editor Rahul Srivastav, who's covered Bihar extensively, is live with me. Rahul, what are you making of the great significance of these images? That convoy rolling out from Lalu's residence and heading towards the Raj Bhavan, where Nitish and Tejasvi, holding hands, are staking claim now.
Shiv, you can see how relevant Nitish Kumar is in Bihar politics. That there are two big players. They're like the two big vehicles, but Nitish Kumar is the only driver between RJD and the BJP. That every time they need a Nitish Kumar, he does not control a large vote bank. He has only 45 seats, but both RJD and the BJP are ready to keep him as Chief Minister. I think that's the significance of Nitish Kumar. On a lighter note, I think the manner in which he has been performing these political somersaults, I think he has now made it a political fine art. And remember, I've seen him so many times go down to the Raj Bhavan to stake claim. Remember, it's going to be his 8th swearing-in ceremony in 22 years, Shiv. That means that he has been virtually going to the wedding altar with different suitors. And I think it's amazing how Nitish Kumar still remains what you call Teflon coated as far as the ideology of the ally with whom he is going to form a government. Something definitely, I think Nitish Kumar has totally stumped the BJP. The BJP will have to return to the drawing board now. Primarily because what the BJP was planning, that after winning over Nitish Kumar in 2017, in 2020, when it handed over the Chief Minister's chair to Nitish Kumar, the BJP was hoping it will give it time to win more demographies in Bihar politics, get more voters, voting segments.
Rahul, stay with me
also
for a
get
moment. Apologies for interrupting you. Chirag Paswan is speaking live with Mausami. I'll just cut to that for a moment.
भविष्यवक्ता नहीं हूँ तो भविष्यवाणी नहीं बोलूंगा, पर मैंने इस बात को कहा जरूर था कि बहुत जल्द मुख्यमंत्री जी महागठबंधन में वापस जाएंगे अपनी व्यक्तिगत महत्वाकांक्षाओं से। इनको पता है कि भैया एनडीए में जगह है नहीं प्रधानमंत्री पद की दावेदारी के लिए 2024 के चुनाव जहां तक संबंधित हैं। तो अब ये विपक्ष की तरफ से प्रधानमंत्री पद के दावेदार ये बनने का ये प्रयास करेंगे और वही कार्य आज इन्होंने किया है। इनकी कोई आइडियोलॉजिकल लड़ाई नहीं है। महागठबंधन के साथ जाना कोई बिहार को बचाने के लिए उठाया गया कदम नहीं है, बिहार की बेहतरी के लिए उठाया गया कदम नहीं है, अपने व्यक्तिगत महत्वाकांक्षाओं के लिए।
ये तो मानेंगे कि मान के लिए ये है कि उन्होंने कहा कि अपमान किया भाजपा ने मेरा। आप सम्मान और मान को मानते हैं। आपने बताया था आपके पिताजी का जब निधन हुआ तो आपने भी कहा कि नीतीश कुमार ने अपमानित किया। तो क्या आपको लगता है कि नीतीश कुमार ऐसी परिस्थिति में थे कि उनके मान को और उनके अहम को ठेस पहुंची हो भाजपा के?
मौसमी जी बिल्कुल सही आपने बोला। मैं मान सम्मान से समझौता मैं खुद कभी जिंदगी में नहीं करूंगा। मैं किसी को सुझाव भी नहीं दूंगा कि अपने मान सम्मान से समझौता करके कोई रहे। बट एक बार ये चीज़ मुख्यमंत्री मुझे समझा दें, तीसरे नंबर की पार्टी जिसको बिहार की जनता ने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, आधे से ज़्यादा आपके प्रत्याशी हार जाते हैं, उसके बाद भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी आपको मुख्यमंत्री बनाती है, क्या ये अपमान है? भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपनी तमाम आइडियोलॉजीज़ के साथ कॉम्प्रोमाइज़ करती है। आपने तो भैया सीए एनआरसी के खिलाफ बिहार विधानसभा में प्रस्ताव तक पारित कर दिया, तब भी
भाजपा की क्यों पैरवी कर रहे हैं?
मैं पैरवी नहीं कर रहा, मैं सिर्फ ये बता रहा हूँ कि क्या इसको अपमान कहते हैं? ये बहाना है।
लगातार ऐसा लगता है कि आप भाजपा को पूरी तरह से डिफेंड कर रहे हैं कि भाजपा को ठगा है नीतीश कुमार ने। इतना भाजपा के लिए प्रेम क्यों? आपके चाचा कह रहे हैं मैं एनडीए नहीं छोड़ूंगा।
मौसमी जी मुझे किसी गठबंधन में जाने का भी शौक नहीं है। मैं किसी गठबंधन में
हनुमान की आस्था अभी तक है कि नहीं है?
व्यक्तिगत आस्था पे सवाल गलत है।
ये तो
व्यक्तिगत आस्था पे नहीं, आप किसको आप कैसे मानते हैं वो आपका व्यक्तिगत विषय हो सकता है। और इस नाते तो मैं मुख्यमंत्री जी को भी मानता हूँ। आपको वो दृश्य याद होंगे, मैं खुद हर बार जब मिलते हैं उनके चरण स्पर्श करता हूँ, ये मैं मानता हूँ। ये मेरी व्यक्तिगत आस्थाएं हैं। बट व्यक्तिगत आस्था कभी गठबंधन निर्धारित नहीं करती, आपकी नीतियाँ निर्धारित नहीं करती। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का आप जिक्र कर रहे हैं, मैं शायद इकलौता ऐसा नेता हूँगा जो गठबंधन में जब उनके साथ था भी तब भी उनकी गलत नीतियों पर मैंने सवाल उठाए थे।
क्या आपने खुद को अपमानित महसूस किया था जब आप भाजपा के साथ थे?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं बोलूँगा इस बात को। ऐसी कोई परिस्थिति नहीं। मुख्यमंत्री जी का ज़रूर मैंने कहा था। मेरे नेता आप सब जानते हैं अस्पताल में थे लगभग 2-2.5 महीने। एक बार मुख्यमंत्री जी ने फ़ोन करके मेरे नेता का हालचाल जानने का प्रयास किया। एक बार वो उनसे मिलने आए। मेरे नेता को का कद छोटा करने के लिए बिहार में जिस तरीके से राजनीतिक षड्यंत्र उन्होंने रचा, दलित महादलित किस उद्देश्य से किया गया था, मेरे पार्टी के तमाम नेताओं को जिस तरीके से तोड़ा गया, 2005 में जब 29 विधायक जीत कर आए थे, किसने तोड़ा? मुख्यमंत्री जी ने तोड़ा ना। इसको अपमान कहते हैं।
पर अब उनके साथ अगर ये घट रहा है तो गलत है ये, अगर वो एक स्टैंड लेते हैं तो?
दूसरों का घर तोड़ने वाले जब आज अपना घर टूटता है तो तकलीफ हो रही है। ये वही है ना जो षड्यंत्र मेरे परिवार मेरी पार्टी में भी इन्होंने रचा था। आज जब अपनी पार्टी के ऊपर षड्यंत्र की बू तक आई तो तिलमिला गए।
पर वो पीएम उम्मीदवार होने वाले हैं, जो ट्वीट का हम अंदेशा लगाएं। सर एक सेकंड।
बधाई, ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। ज़रूर बने, प्रधानमंत्री पद के दावेदार बने, राष्ट्रपति के भी बने, अगला जो भी चुनाव होगा उपराष्ट्रपति सबके दावेदार बने। पर जब तक बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री हैं बिहार पे ध्यान देते हैं।
बिहार पर ध्यान दीजिए। चिराग, आई विल लाइक टू आस्क यू सम क्वेश्चंस इन इंग्लिश। वी बी वेटेड फॉर लॉन्ग। चिराग Paswan is joining us and we'll take his reaction. You've been the first to hit out at Nitish Kumar. Now he has given his resignation to the governor and is set to form a new alliance and become the chief minister of that alliance. How do you respond to the fact that he is aligning with the same party that he broke away with a few years?
Well, he was planning for this for the longest time, Mausami ji. It's not a matter of a day or two that he took this decision and all of a sudden he got to know that he's been humiliated and stuff. He's been planning for this for the longest time. And if you can recollect, if you remember, I held a press conference immediately after the Vidhan Sabha election results, and that day itself I announced that very soon Mukhyamantri ji will be leaving this alliance because his aims are much higher, his ambitions are much bigger. He is aiming for 2024 Lok Sabha election and he wants to be the candidate for the Prime Ministerial post from the opposition side in for the 2024 general election. So this was one thing that he was preparing himself for the longest time, and eventually he did what he wanted.
Chirag, your father has been in a part of the UPA. Do you think this is a shot in the arm for the opposition with BJP out in Bihar, a new permutation and combination for 2024?
Light shot. लाइन सुनो, लाइन पे रहो। एक नीतीश कुमार के घर से राबड़ी देवी के घर पे पहुंचे।
Pictures from outside Rabri Devi's residence. Ashutosh is there on camera. He's moving between positions so you can get the best pictures. Let's listen in.
लालू यादव जिंदाबाद, तेजस्वी यादव जिंदाबाद, महागठबंधन जिंदाबाद।
से लौटे हैं तमाम जो विधायक थे। आपने देखा तस्वीरों में नीतीश कुमार, तेजस्वी यादव पैदल चलकर जब नीतीश कुमार के घर पर रवाना हुए। नीतीश जो पहुंचे थे राबड़ी देवी के आवास पर महागठबंधन के विधायकों से मिलने के लिए, उसके बाद अब तेज प्रताप यादव फिर से अपने आवास पर लौटे हैं। जो उनके समर्थक हैं, कार्यकर्ता हैं, नारे लगाते हुए तेज प्रताप का संबोधन करते हुए तेज प्रताप ने संबोधन स्वीकार किया और अब वो फिर से अपने आवास पर चले गए हैं।
Okay, they're all headed towards the Raj Bhavan. The BJP has taunted the Mahagathbandhan 2.0. The BJP has now tried to embarrass Nitish by pulling out old tweets of Lalu Prasad and Tejasvi Yadav calling Nitish Kumar a samp, a snake. Lalu had called Nitish a snake in 2017 and that tweet is going viral. Tejasvi had accused him of being a palturam, changing tracks, and calling Nitish the Bhishma Pitama of Bhrashtachar or corruption. But that's the way politics rolls. There are no permanent enemies in politics, most certainly in Indian politics, and most definitely in the Nitish Raj of Bihar, where Nitish sabke hain. He's been friends and enemies with everyone. So now the BJP has pulled out its old tweets of Lalu and Tejasvi, abusing Nitish, calling him a snake and a traitor and a palturam, a man who keeps somersaulting without any real loyalty or commitment to alliances. Nitish Kumar clearly having the last laugh, even as the BJP and the Lalu party, the RJD, have from time to time watched as Nitish has manipulated them and walked away with all the goodies. Basically, Nitish Kumar continues to be the chief minister. Even now, he's divorced the NDA, but he gets to stay as chief minister. Lalu Prasad's 2017 tweet, Tejasvi Yadav's 2020 tweet, all becoming viral all over again, with the BJP digging into them, bringing them out and making them go viral once again. I want to get Rahul Srivastav in on this, in fact. Rahul, you know, how does this fly? The fact that, Lalu and Tejasvi had used very intemperate words for Nitish, not uncommon and not surprising with the twists and turns that Bihar politics and especially Nitish's various tenures have gone. But, are these just the usual taunts or do these really matter? The fact that Lalu had once called him a samp.
You see, Shiv, this definitely is the BJP hitting back.
Yeah.
Interestingly, 3-4 days back, the BJP knew that something like this is about to happen, and it had asked all its cadres and leaders not to speak out against Nitish. Let him take the step, and then they would comment on it. Basically, the idea is now to present the BJP as the victim and martyr against Nitish Kumar's somersault. The BJP will go to the public saying Nitish Kumar has betrayed the mandate. Remember, even last time around in 2020, when the JDU BJP won the election, there is a strong sentiment in Bihar, especially in the urban areas, against the Lalu Raj, the kind of problems people faced in that period. And now the BJP wants to exploit that sentiment and create a sentiment about how Nitish Kumar is betrayed, that somersault is going to become a political narrative. But what Lalu said, Shiv, it's very interesting that the BJP is playing it out. On the 2nd of August in 2017, after Nitish walked away, Lalu has said that the Bada Bhai ko Chota Bhai ne Paltu Ram. He called him Tua, that is an orphan in Bihari. Interestingly, the point which you were talking about, that how Nitish Kumar was angry with the BJP, now because of the insults and the attempts to destabilize the JDU, in his book, Lalu Prasad autobiography, called Gopalganj to Raisina, My Political Journey, Lalu Prasad Yadav interestingly says that in 1995-96 I had coined a phrase to explain Nitish's split personality. कि Nitish के पेट में दांत नहीं है, Nitish is devious. That's what it means. He called him a bandar, a monkey swinging from branch to another. Another interesting point in that book is that in 2017, 6 months after the Nitish Kumar had dumped the Mahagathbandhan, joined the BJP, Lalu says in his book that his emissary Prashant Kishore, acting on his directive, met Lalu 5 times asking for a letter of RJD support to dump the BJP. That means even in 2017, prior to the 2020 elections, right after the Mahagathbandhan was dumped by Nitish Kumar and BJP was his ally, Nitish Kumar was plotting dumping the BJP. So this dumping an ally is a constant factor with Nitish Kumar. And each time you see what he does, if you see the 2014 elections, he went alone but didn't do very well.
Yes.
In the assembly election 2015, he went with the Mahagathbandhan.
Absolutely.
His tally rose to 70 odd. BJP fell from 91 to 51 odd. In Lok Sabha 2019 and went with the BJP, won 16 Lok Sabha seats. Lalu Prasad Yadav was decimated. What he does not just changes allies, he actually destabilizes the allies by dumping them. Now the BJP, for example, Shiv, will have to go back to the drawing board.
Rahul, in fact, the BJP has just called a core group meeting today in Bihar. What do you think will happen there? Exactly what you're talking about.
Shiv, it's going to be, see, the BJP core group in Bihar is going to strategize for the confidence motion, which Nitish Kumar will have to in the house if the BJP feels like. Also the strategy for future, the political strategy from today onwards. What's the BJP going to do? The directive definitely is going to come from Delhi. But the BJP core group consists of top BJP leaders of the state. And these leaders will sit down and decide on how they are going to take on the JDU Mahagathbandhan alliance now from tomorrow onwards. I think a campaign on how Nitish Kumar, what the BJP says, betrayal factor is going to be the key element here.
Okay, a key element is going to be the idea of betrayal. How does that fit in? One final question, Rahul. How does that fit in with the larger 2024 campaign? Does it really, make a difference? The next Bihar election is in 2025. We all know that Nitish has national ambitions as well. So the BJP's campaign to call him a traitor, how does, what part does that play in the road to 2024?
See, Shiv, it's a very critical question you have asked me, because you see, right now the condition for the BJP is slightly problematic. In 2014, there was no Nitish Kumar with the BJP. Still with the Loktantrik Janata LJP of Ramvilas Paswan and RLSP, the BJP won 31 of the 40 seats in Bihar in Lok Sabha, largely because of the Modi factor. Then in 2019 with Nitish Kumar, the two won something close to 33 seats in Bihar. That means that in case now Lalu, Nitish, Congress and others contest together, the BJP will be in a bit of problem there. And that is where the BJP will try to build a narrative against the JDU to gain ground in Bihar to call, because there is already a sentiment against the RJD, which the BJP has benefited from, but now build a narrative against the JDU and Nitish Kumar. And remember, Mr. Chirag Paswan, who you were talking about right now, who was speaking to India Today just now, I think he is likely to make a comeback in the NDA, primarily because that's one segment of Dalits, Paswans in Bihar, which close to 4%.
Yes.
That's what the BJP will be looking at. I think his times are going to change.
Very interesting. Rahul, thanks very much for that. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, leader of the Congress in the Lok Sabha, has just reacted. A rare moment of celebration for the Congress party. A small little oasis of political victory amidst all the misery that the party has been facing. Listen to Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary.
बीजेपी के खिलाफ कोई भी अगर संघर्ष करने के लिए तैयार रहे तो ये मान लीजिए कि कांग्रेस पार्टी उनको समर्थन जरूर करेंगे, क्योंकि ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की एक ही मकसद ये है कि हिंदुस्तान में जो सांप्रदायिक सियासत हो रहे हैं, ये सांप्रदायिक सियासत की खिलाफत करना चाहिए। इसके लिए जो भी बीजेपी के खिलाफ सामने आके खड़ा होंगे, कांग्रेस पार्टी उनको जरूर समर्थन करेंगे।
Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav are currently inside the Raj Bhavan in Patna. Any moment now, those are live pictures that you're looking at on your screen of them leaving from Rabri Devi's residence and going towards the Raj Bhavan in just minutes from now. In fact, as we continue to bring you this unfolding story, the two leaders, the Chacha Bhatija, who had famously attacked each other in the past, are now holding hands and staking claim before Governor Phagu Chauhan of Bihar to form the next government in Bihar. That swearing-in ceremony of Nitish Kumar is all set to happen tomorrow. It will be his record 8th swearing-in as the Chief Minister of Bihar. It's a record that nobody in this country has come close to. 8 swearing-in for Nitish Kumar. This is a political survivor par excellence. You can say what you want about the twists and the turns and the paltis or what have you, but the fact is Nitish Kumar gets to break up with his existing alliance and stay on as Chief Minister. A famous poster from the past has begun to go viral once again on social media, which shows the Bihar Chief Minister saying, Nitish Kumar sabke hain, Nitish sabke hain. Well, it is certainly true. He was off the BJP and now he is with Lalu's party, a party whose parivar had called him a samp and a traitor in the past, is now embracing him, holding his hand in the driver's seat of the next Bihar Sarkar. Remember, Tejasvi Yadav, who had been defeated in the 2020 Bihar election, who had mounted a high-voltage, visible campaign, and who many saw was the rightful winner of that election in many ways, since the work he had done and since the campaign he had mounted was a high-visibility campaign. But victory was snatched from him because of democracy, because of the voter. And now Tejasvi gets to be part of that government that has eluded him for so long. He's all set to become the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar tomorrow. Rohit Singh is live with me from Patna. Rohit, what's going on inside Raj Bhavan? The Chacha Bhatija are inside. Have they staked claim yet?
Well, yes, Shiv, Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav have staked claim to form the government, and after doing that, Tejasvi and Tej Pratap, his brother, are both back at Rabri Devi's residence, and in all likelihood tomorrow the swearing-in ceremony will take place. But it has been a fast-paced development that has taken place in Patna today. Within 5 hours, we saw JDU holding a crucial legislative party meeting, and then it was decided in the meeting that Nitish Kumar decided to dump the BJP, and straight away he went to Phagu Chauhan, the governor, tendered his resignation, and after that, within few minutes, he came to meet Tejasvi Yadav and Rabri Devi at their residence. That's the 10th Circular Road. And after meeting Tejasvi Yadav and Rabri Devi, again, within minutes, he, along with Tejasvi Yadav, went to Raj Bhavan to stake claim to form the government. So it's been a fast-paced development that has taken place, and it seems that Nitish Kumar is in a hurry. He does not want to give any time to the BJP to do anything wrong or act as a spoiled sport. So Nitish Kumar is working very fast, and tomorrow in all likelihood the swearing-in ceremony will be held, and Nitish Kumar is all set to become the Chief Minister of Bihar for the 8th time in 18 years.
8th time in 18 years is he's going to be sworn in once again. We'll have a picture on your screen in just a moment of all the times that Nitish Kumar has been sworn in. Let's take a look at that visual of all the times that Nitish Kumar has sworn. Okay, we're going to cut out of our coverage for just a moment and shift focus momentarily to our other high visibility story of Shrikant Tyagi's arrest. Let's listen into the UP police.
एडिशनल डीसीपी अंकिता शर्मा संबंधित एसएचओ को तत्काल उस मीटिंग से उस वीडियो के डिटेल्स और उस परिवार से संपर्क करते हुए तत्काल कार्रवाई करने के निर्देश दिए गए और ये लोग उस मीटिंग के बाद से ही एक्शन में आ गए। ये 5 तारीख की घटना थी। पुलिस ने स्वयं रीच आउट करते हुए विक्टिम से संपर्क किया और फिर उनकी जो एक रिटन एप्लीकेशन थी उसके बेसिस पे केस रजिस्टर करके उस वीडियो में दिखाई देने वाले व्यक्ति की तलाश, एक मैन हंट शुरू किया। जैसा आप जानते हैं कि सभी प्रकार के क्राइम या सोशल सिचुएशंस के लिए ये कमिश्नरेट पुलिस बहुत सेंसिटिव रही है और पिछले कुछ दिनों में आपने देखा है कि चाहे वो ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्राइम हो जिसकी आर्थिक रीढ़ तोड़ी गई या एक बहुत ही एग्रेसिव स्ट्रीट क्राइम पुलिसिंग की गई, उस सब को देखते हुए जो मेन एक्यूज है वो अपने आप को पुलिस से बचाने के लिए भागने लगे। उसकी गिरफ्तारी के लिए पहले 8 टीम बनाई गई जिसमें हमारे जिसमें हमारे महिला सुरक्षा की अधिकारी उसकी नोडल ऑफिसर थी और उसके बाद एक मैसिव टीम एफर्ट लॉन्च किया गया। आवश्यकता अनुसार इन टीम्स को बढ़ाकर 12 टीम्स किया गया और लगातार मेन एक्यूज जो अपने आप को पुलिस से, लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी से बचाने की कोशिश कर रहा था, उसका लगातार पीछा किया गया। मेन एक्यूज अपने आप को छुपाने के लिए उत्तर प्रदेश की सीमाओं से बाहर भी गया, लेकिन हमारी टीम्स लगातार ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस, टेक्निकल इंटेलिजेंस, तमाम सीसीटीवी कैमरास, अन्य एजेंसीज के साथ कोऑर्डिनेशन के साथ लगातार बहुत ही प्रोफेशनल तरीके से उसका पीछे करते रहे। फ्राइडे, सैटरडे, संडे तक हम लोग काफ़ी आगे पीछे उस मेन एक्यूज के रहे। मेन एक्यूज बहुत चालाकी से अपने आप को छुपा रहा था। समय समय पर टेक्निकल सर्विलांस से अपने आप को बचाने के लिए रेडियो साइलेंस और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक साइलेंस भी उसने अख्तियार किया, लेकिन हमारी टीम्स पूरे जोशो खरोश के साथ उसके साथ पीछे लगी रही। उसको भागने में मदद करने वाले, उसको शरण देने वाले, उनको लगातार ट्रैक किया गया और आज इसको मेरठ के पास से हमारी टीम्स ने अपने सहयोगियों के साथ गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। ये एक बहुत ही चैलेंजिंग असाइनमेंट था, लेकिन एक बहुत ही प्रोफेशनली कॉम्पिटेंट टीम जो मेरी है, इस टीम ने इन सब चैलेंजेस को देखते हुए, स्वीकार करते हुए मेन एक्यूज तक पहुंचे और उसको अरेस्ट किया। इसकी पूरी घटना की पृष्ठभूमि सोसाइटी के अंदर कॉमन एरिया में कैसे यूज़ हो और कैसे उसका कौन यूज़ करे, इससे 3 साल पहले उपजे एक विवाद से शुरू हुआ और उसकी परिणति इस 5 तारीख वाले वीडियो में दिखाई देती है। मैं आपके माध्यम से रीएश्योर करना चाहूँगा कि देयर इज ज़ीरो टॉलरेंस फॉर सेफ्टी ऑफ आवर विमेन एंड चाइल्ड। जिस प्रकार से हम लोगों ने पिछले 2.5 वर्षों में लगातार ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्रिमिनल्स क्राइम अगेंस्ट विमेन पे कार्य किया है, उसी तरह से आगे भी करते रहेंगे। और मैं आप सभी के माध्यम से अपने सिटीजन्स को भी रीएश्योर करता हूं कि ये पुलिस टीम हमेशा आपके मापदंडों पर खरी उतरेगी।
सर, ये मेरठ में किस किस के पास रहा और कहाँ
बुला लीजिए।
आपने जैसे बताया यूपी के बाहर भी गया था ये, तो कहाँ गया था, किस किस से मिला?
ये यहाँ से लगातार भागता रहा। पहले इसने कोशिश की दिल्ली से एयरपोर्ट की तरफ जाने की, लेकिन तब तक वीडियो इतना वायरल हो चुका था कि इसने फिर अपना ट्रैक चेंज किया और उसके बाद मेरठ, मुजफ्फरनगर, ऋषिकेश, हरिद्वार, थोड़ा जरा इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हिज सेफ्टी प्रोटोकॉल कि वो उसको उतारना चाहेंगे या नहीं चाहेंगे। हाँ, एक मिनट के लिए, एक बार के लिए हटा दो, 1 मिनट के लिए हटा दो, सभी लगाएंगे।
सर, रूट बता दीजिएगा कौन सा दोबारा। मेरठ, मुजफ्फरनगर।
One thing at a time. Let the photo people visuals be done. Let the visuals be done. लगा लो बस। नहीं, इनका भी और भी फॉलो अप भी काफी बचा हुआ है। There are many other। दिल्ली के एयरपोर्ट की तरफ जाने की कोशिश हो गया, विजुअल्स हो गया।
सर, नाम बता दीजिए इनके बाकी।
उसमें प्रेस नोट में सब आ रहे हैं, प्रेस नोट में सारे डिटेल्स हैं। 4
एयरपोर्ट के बाद कंटिन्यू कर दीजिए सर, प्लीज। एयरपोर्ट के बाद
लेट द प्रोसेशन गो। एयरपोर्ट के बाद ये मेरठ पहुंचा और वो रात मेरठ में गुजारी और नेक्स्ट डे फिर वहाँ से अपने सारे डिवाइसेस चेंज करके सैटरडे को वहाँ से हरिद्वार होते हुए ऋषिकेश की तरफ गए। हमारी टीम्स लगातार इनका पीछा कर रहे थे और उसके बाद ये फिर वहाँ से संडे को वापस यूपी में एंटर किए और संडे इवनिंग के बाद इनके द्वारा फिर अपने सारे डिवाइसेस जो हैं चेंज किए गए और उसके बाद से लगातार मेरठ, मुजफ्फरनगर और उसके इर्द गिर्द के जो एरियाज़ हैं, कभी बागपत की तरफ इसका मूवमेंट रहा। इस बीच इसके द्वारा न केवल अपने आप को छुपाया गया बल्कि जगह स्थान बार बार बदला, व्हीकल्स जो इसने इस्तेमाल करे थे वो बार बार बदले, जिससे ये लगभग 3.5 पौने 4 दिन तक अपने आप को छुपाए रहा। लेकिन टीम्स हमारी कॉन्टिन्यूसली काम कर रही थी और इसकी हर नई आइडेंटिटी को, हर नई व्हीकल को, हर नए डिवाइसेस को लगातार एक बहुत बड़े ऑपरेशन के तहत हम लोग ट्रैक करते हुए इस तक पहुँचे हैं।
किन लोगों ने मदद की थी, वो कौन कौन लोग थे सर?
इसमें प्रेस नोट में वो सबके नाम आए हैं, आप एक बार उसको नकुल त्यागी और इसके साथ ही एक संजय हैं और इसका जो पहले जो ड्राइवर साथ गया था राहुल, ये 3 इसमें मेन मददगार थे।
सर ये कहा गया है इसमें कि बार बार राजनीतिक संरक्षण इसको मिलता रहा है, कोई ऐसी चर्चाएं आपके साथ है या इसमें आपने क्या तफ्तीश किया है?
अभी तक की सारी तफ्तीश जो है वो इनको ढूंढने पे थी, ये पुलिस से बच रहे थे और पुलिस इनको खोज रही थी।
ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस और टेक्निकल इंटेलिजेंस आप लोग मदद ले रहे थे, आपको कैसे पता चला कि मेरठ में है और फिर किस तरीके से वो पूरा ऑपरेशन हुआ इसको पकड़ने को लेकर, और उस दौरान क्या इसका? आपका ये प्रश्न है तो बहुत सरल, लेकिन मेरा और मेरे सहयोगियों का काम आगे बहुत बढ़ा देगा, तो इसके लिए कभी फुर्सत में आइएगा एक कप अलग से कॉफी पे, तब मैं आपको सारे ऑपरेशनल डिटेल्स शेयर कर दूंगा। जी एक करके बैठिए ना, एक एक करके
ये रुका था, वो कौन कौन लोग थे? क्या इसके रिश्तेदार थे या दोस्त थे? किन लोगों ने पनाह दी?
इसके सहयोगी थे और इसके साथ लगातार वो काफ़ी समय से जुड़े हुए थे, ये अपना उनको दोस्त ही बताता है, बाकी और जो डिटेल्स है वो हम लोग वेरीफाई करेंगे।
क्या उससे भी इसके कुछ तार जुड़े हुए? त्यागी हॉस्टल मेरठ,
इस तरह की बात अभी तक की विवेचना से नहीं आई है। मैं इसमें एक चीज़ और ऐड करना चाहता हूँ, इसके पास जो व्हीकल्स मिले हैं वो सभी में एक स्पेसिफिक नंबर है जो 001 करके है, यूपी 32 लखनऊ की सीरीज़ है, और प्रत्येक नंबर प्लेट के लिए इसने बिडिंग की और पूछताछ में ये बताया कि कोई भी नंबर प्लेट इसको 1,10,000 से कम की नहीं मिली है।
सर वो व्हीकल्स किसके नाम है?
वो दूसरी चीज इसके द्वारा एक व्हीकल पर, जैसा आपने सुबह से देखा भी है, एक विधायक का स्टिकर भी लगाया हुआ है।
आ रहे उस पे भी आ रहे
हैं। स्टिकर इसकी गाड़ी पे लगा हुआ है जो माननीय विधायकगण को मिलता है। उसके बारे में इसने पूछताछ में बताया कि इसके जो पुराने पॉलिटिकल सहयोगी थे श्री स्वामी प्रसाद मौर्य जी, उनके द्वारा वो स्टिकर इसको उपलब्ध कराया गया। और जी अभी इसको वेरीफाई कर रहे हैं, ये इसके द्वारा बताया गया है। और इसके अतिरिक्त इसके ड्राइवर द्वारा नंबर प्लेट पर यूपी सरकार का जो राज्य चिन्ह है वो भी पेंट कराया गया और उसका दुरुपयोग किया। इस सारी जो इसकी ये व्यवस्था थी वो अपने आप को सार्वजनिक जीवन में एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण और प्रभावशाली व्यक्ति प्रदर्शित करने की थी, और उसको उस इमेज को यूज़ करते हुए इसके द्वारा एक भय का वातावरण अपने आसपास उत्पन्न किया गया। और इसके लिए उसमें गैंगस्टर एक्ट में भी हम लोग कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं। इसकी तमाम ऐसी जो संपत्तियां हैं जो अनअकाउंटेड हैं और जो इलेजिटिमेट मीन्स से हैं, उसमें भी आगे चल के हम लोग कार्रवाई करेंगे।
सर एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर दे दीजिए, गाड़ियां रिकवर हुई है सर? इससे
कितनी दी बताइए। अभी तक इससे 5 गाड़ियां बरामद हुई हैं, वो मैंने उसमें प्रेस नोट में भी भेजा है, जिसमें 2 फॉर्च्यूनर 2 फॉर्च्यूनर, 2 सफारी और 1 होंडा सिविक। कुछ इसके नाम है, कुछ इसकी पत्नी के नाम है।
क्या उनका भी नाम कहीं शामिल किया जाएगा?
जिसको हम लोग वेरीफाई करेंगे और जैसी एविडेंस आएगी उसके हिसाब से कार्रवाई की जाएगी। इस पूरे गनर की जो प्रावधान है और जो सुरक्षा इसको 2020 तक मिली थी, वो सीमावर्ती जनपद गाजियाबाद से मिली थी। उसके बारे में ऑलरेडी एक हाई लेवल पर इंक्वायरी की जा रही है।
सर, आपने इससे पूछताछ की है, क्या इसने माना है कि जो उसने किया वो गलत किया? कोई पछतावा है इससे?
हाँ, ये बात इसने कही है। ये बात हम सभी लोगों ने इससे पूछताछ की और ये इसने कहा कि आक्रोश में आकर इसके द्वारा इस तरह की बात की गई और महिलाओं के प्रति जो इसका व्यवहार था वो उचित नहीं था। ये बात इसने स्वीकारी है पूछताछ में।
सर, कोर्ट में आपका पेश किया जाएगा?
अब आप लोग फुर्सत दें तो आगे का कार्य किया जाए, क्योंकि आज ऐसा है, आज मुहर्रम भी है। आज मुहर्रम भी है, जिसकी वजह से रेगुलरली कोर्ट्स सारे नहीं बहुत फंक्शन कर रहे हैं। कुछ सिलेक्टेड कोर्ट्स हैं जो आज रिमांड का काम कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ से इसके तत्काल बाद ही हमारे ऑफिसर्स उनको मेडिकल और बाकी चीज़ों के बाद कोर्ट में प्रस्तुत करेंगे।
तक भागने की वजह क्या थी?
नोएडा पुलिस का खौफ।
किस तरीके से ये भाग पाया? क्योंकि 3:30 बजे तक जहाँ तक इंफॉर्मेशन है, he was still in the society. So around what time did he actually flee from there?
See, as I told you in the very beginning, we were holding a meeting here almost the same time when the video came from our social media monitoring cell, and then we initiated it on ourselves. The victim had by that time not approached the police. It's the police which went out to them. So there was some gap because by the time this happened, there was some gap between the video reaching to us and our response. Had the victim immediately called up on the police, I believe it would not have happened that day. But yes, nevertheless, in the last 4 days or less than 4 days, police has worked continuously, day in, day out, 24/7 to get him.
And so what time he was arrested today? Around what time?
You have it in the press note. I think it's at 10:30. Sorry? In his interrogation, he says that he initially wanted to go to Lucknow.
सर, इससे रिलेटेड एक चीज डेवलपमेंट जो हुआ था जब कुछ इसके त्यागी जी के साथी सोसाइटी में आए थे, has any action been initiated against the private security agency which is interested with the security of the society?
बताइए।
नेक्स्ट जो हुआ था,
That is in process.
सर, किसी नेता के संपर्क में था, पिछले 4 दिनों से भाग रहा था, और किसी पॉलिटिकल नेता, किसी छोटे नेता के संपर्क में था, तो किस सपोर्ट दे?
अभी तक की जानकारी में ऐसा कोई तथ्य नहीं आया।
सर, इसके पास से रिकवरी क्या हुई है? और एक सवाल, दूसरा सवाल ये है कि कई जगह ये खबर आ रही है कि सरेंडर किया इसने, हाजिर हुआ है किसी मीडिएटर के थ्रू।
मैं आपको जो हुआ है वो मैंने आपके सामने बता दिया है, बाकी आपका आंकलन है। थैंक यू। सॉरी कहाँ से? अच्छा, आप? हाँ, नहीं, ये नोएडा पुलिस से संबंधित विषय नहीं है।
The press conference of the Noida police that has now taken into arrest the man you're looking at on your screen, Shrikant Tyagi, who had been identifying himself as one of the BJP leaders, but now and BJP members, but now he has been clearly taken into arrest, ensuring there that law and order cannot be overstepped in Uttar Pradesh, that women cannot be spoken to in the state of Uttar Pradesh, the manner in which Shrikant Tyagi had done. And this press conference just after his arrest, remember, he's been caught not from Noida, but from Meerut while he was absconding. This while there was already bulldozers tearing down the illegal